What's up, fam? Listen, we did some more reaction videos today with some good hot takes. You don't want to miss it. Go check it out.
All right. I've liked the reaction videos, so we're going to keep them going.
Yeah.
And we're going to start with this unhinged lady. Mindy hasn't seen any of these yet. So.
Right.
And we have a bunch more on the channel if you want to go check it out. But here we are, locked and loaded. Number one. Wait, there we go.
Comparing stats. Baby girl doesn't know that I am Tom Brady at this game.
Oh, she's Tom Brady.
Married at 18, divorced at 21. Second marriage, married at 25, divorced at 28. Third engagement, engaged at 29, ended it at 30, but I kept the ring. I'm still keeping Tom Brady on his toes. We should not be afraid to leave these men. We are not stuck with these people. Marriage is not a sanctimonious thing. It is paperwork. It's something, it's a commitment you make to someone. But if you feel like you're not getting anything from that commitment and you're trying, you gotta go. You have to go. I know it's difficult to fill out paperwork and to make appointments and to do all of these things, but this is your life. Do you want to be stuck with someone?
We're gonna bleep that out.
Period. Do you want to be stuck with someone?
Okay. Oh shoot! I didn't even realize who that is. And I don't know this because I watch these videos, but this was like a world famous corn star.
Oh, well.
And would understand why nothing is valuable to this human being.
Right.
Because holy things aren't valuable to people that don't see anything as holy.
Yeah.
What a dumb take.
No, honestly.
I have more rings than Tom Brady. Okay, you're the issue.
Yeah, she's definitely the issue. And, okay, so to be honest, like, if you're not willing to live a life of commitment, right, then why get married? Why get married? You know what? If you're unsaved and you're someone watching this and you're not following Jesus, just don't get married. What is the point? Honestly, because truly marriage was created from the Lord.
For believers.
For believers. And in his Bible, his word, he lays out how it's supposed to be, what it's supposed to look like, the meaning, the purpose of it, the blessings in it. And if you're unwilling to be with this person the rest of your life and be committed, don't even waste your time. Don't waste somebody else's time.
This just shows like a bad mindset of a generation where it's like, well, if it's not valuable to me, I'm out. Right. That's not what any of this is for. This is like,
well, I just think even that
crosses so many different issues.
The minute it gets hard or uncomfortable, is a little bit challenging, I'm just gonna quit.
This doesn't do anything good for me. I'm out.
It doesn't benefit anybody. You'll always go around the mountain with that kind of attitude and mentality. Like, if it's uncomfortable and you don't like it, just leave. No. And mind you, we've done whole videos on just the cost of divorce. Okay. And everything that plays into that.
By like the emotional baggage of those divorces and stuff.
Right. Like she's acting as if she's perfectly fine, but
I mean, if you're out here doing those things, you're not fine.
No, you're not fine. Red flags we're waving.
It's a human red flag.
She is a waving red flag.
If I could raise a person as a red flag, I found one.
Yeah.
Here it is. If I could wave her by her toe in the air and say, like, avoid anything like this, here you are, man. Mm-hmm. What a train wreck. All right. Next.
Christian marriage advice is the worst. And I
already hate this. She probably had a terrible experience and now is going to take it out on Christians.
Yep.
So
100% believe the secular world has marriage way better figured out.
We just heard way better advice from the last one.
Right. So just pay attention because the woman we just listened to was secular advice.
Like the most secular advice
than Christians do. So here's some of the advice that I got when I was engaged and getting married. One person in a couple, the male, told us to just enjoy our dating time and date for as long as possible, which is good advice, because once you get married, it all goes downhill from there.
Okay.
Right
it's
there.
so stupid though to like Christian advice is the worst way, and you take your one-off bad experience from this one-off guy. Like, stop putting one dumb statement on everybody.
Yeah, I agree.
People do this all the time.
Let's just finish the video.
And yes, he was still married. Some other advice we got was never to go to bed angry, and this is based on a verse. I think it's either in Ecclesiastes or Proverbs of like,
you can't critique something.
Don't let the sun go down on your wrath. And so they cherry picked that just for fun to say that a married couple should never go to bed not angry. And so this made it to where our first year of marriage, I worked at Starbucks, and so I was getting up at literally 2:30 a.m. to get to the store and open by 4 a.m. And my husband also had a really taxing physical job. And so when we couldn't resolve a conflict, we would stay up all night because I would be telling him like, we can't go to bed. Like, everyone told us we can't go to bed yet. We have to figure this out. And like, when it's 2 a.m. and you're flooded emotionally, you are not going to figure anything out. You are tired. You would literally be falling asleep while each other was talking. And it has changed our marriage so much, just being like, yep, I'm angry with you. I'm going to bed. Let's talk in the morning. And literally 90% of the time, the problem is solved just by sleeping. The other really...
That's obnoxious. Again, it's a misunderstanding.
Right.
Really bad marriage advice we got was that you should have sex on a schedule, and that men need sex based on their age.
That's not marriage. That's not Christian marriage advice. Right. That's just all bad advice.
That video is just
it's just bad advice.
Make her stop talking. All right, listen.
She needs a good mom.
If you're listening to that and you watch that, I don't know who this said Christian counselor person was, but they wrong. Okay, they're just flat out wrong. That is not biblical sound marriage advice. Clearly, this individual either just had no idea what they were talking about, or this woman is not very smart to understand what they were trying to say. I would say there's probably a mixture of the two. But all of that information is so miscued and so misunderstood and not true. Biblically, okay?
I can go to bed.
There's so much. I
can go to bed not figuring something out and also not be angry.
But this is
like
this is where people,
be true at the same time,
because I have actually seen other videos where there's like all these arguments against that, and they're like, no, the Bible. No. Okay, once again, it's not cherry picked, and it's not saying that you must stay up until there is resolution.
Yeah.
Don't go to bed angry as, listen, I understand we're mad at each other, but I still love you. And let's work this out tomorrow. And if you need to walk away before you go to bed, or you need to do whatever, then you can do it. But it doesn't mean that you have to solve it in that moment. It just means you don't want to go to bed
you have to solve it. You solve this in the moment.
Seething mad. You get control of your emotions and say, okay, I'm really mad about the situation, but I'm not going to carry this into my sleep, because you're not going to sleep. Okay.
I mean, I would sleep fine. But.
You would, but I'm just saying, he's the outlier. Okay. But
sleep.
It doesn't mean that you have to resolve things in the moment. It's just saying, don't go to bed angry, because it's not a benefit to you. It's not a benefit to the other person. You're just carrying. That's too much to carry to go to bed.
And then the next one, like sex on a schedule, bro.
That's ridiculous. That's the most absurd thing.
You have major problems if you got to like schedule this thing out.
No, that makes it awkward and weird and a chore, and nobody wants anything to do with that. What else did she say? She said something else too. It's just
the first part.
Idiotic.
Dumb.
Just all of it is just garbage, trash.
Okay,
advice.
Next one. Expert. Oh, this is funny. This is stupid. You're gonna think I'm stupid for even playing this one, but I like it.
Marriage advice. If your wife has a dream that you cheated on her, go ahead and cheat on her. Because your job as a husband is to make all her dreams come true.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's obviously terrible advice. I just thought it was kind of funny.
That's wild.
That was silly. I would be murdered if that ever happened.
Yeah.
So you'd be like, wow, it's hard to have a marriage podcast with only one person. And now the one person is behind bars. And then Trey would have to keep this thing going. And obviously he didn't get very good advice because I would have been murdered.
All right.
So here we go. Next, a real one, guys.
The problem isn't marriage, it's that modern women stopped being feminine and submitting to their husbands. It's selfish to get really overweight and let yourself go. You cannot build a godly home with feminist blueprints. There is very rarely an excuse for you not to be put together when your husband comes home. Modern marriages fail because the women want the ring without the reverence. Your children should never, ever, ever come before your marriage. Your husband doesn't deserve to come home to a chaotic house. You cannot lead your husband and be a follower of Christ at the same time. There is very rarely a good excuse to not make yourself available for your husband. God did not call you to compete with your husband. He called you to complete your husband. The problem.
Hot take.
She just started throwing like Mike Tyson right hooks.
She just said, all y'all. Mic drop.
But the problem is not what she started with. The problem is not marriage. The problem is like we've tried to bring modern ideas into marriage.
Yeah, modern ideologies, this whole like feminist flair on you do what you want, what makes you feel good, you come first.
The kids come before. We talked about that extensively.
All of these things. So everything she said, it truly, I mean, it's true.
Yep.
Right? And I think every moment and everything she said, we have talked about pretty clearly in several other podcasts that we've done. But I mean, biblically speaking, if you're going from a biblical viewpoint, and that's what we are doing, she is 100% accurate on everything that she said.
Yeah, look, if you're not down with biblical marriage, you're going to hate us.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing. Like, thanks for watching, but I don't know why you would be watching.
Yeah, leave a comment. Let us know how we are the worst types of people and you hate us.
Yeah, I don't really care. I
love you big time back. Thanks for the algo help.
But yeah, I just think that there are things that were never meant to be brought into a marriage. And I think a lot of the modern twist, especially from the feminism push and just women rise up BS that's out there, like has damaged and destroyed marriages. And when you truly step into this, not because you have to and you must do this, but because you have an understanding, first and foremost, God's love for you and God's love for marriage because he created it, and you step into that,
it's good.
There's an easy flow. You're not missing out on anything when you live that way. It's actually the most fulfilling. It's the most rewarding. That's where the blessing is. Like it's great. So I agree with what she says. 100%.
Well, she said a lot.
She said a lot, but
all right. Last one for the day. Ready?
I remember being in premarital counseling with my husband, and the pastor, he's just like, how many times a week do you think married couples have sex? And I remember going, I don't know. I think my husband wrote a really like high number. And I think he said like one time a week. And I think like we both were like, what? Because that's not what you see.
So, I mean, going into my marriage, I was like, this is pretty much going to happen every day, right? Yeah. And my wife was like, this is pretty much only going to happen on Fridays, right? And we had to kind of find our way to what is the actual true middle ground. Biologically speaking, the average human male wants to have sex roughly every 3 days, 72 hours. That's when his body is going to start telling him, hey, I can use that. And he's not going to be able to articulate that unless he's really in tune with his body. And that's why, like, you see husbands after a few days, like, you start to get cranky, and their wives are like, why are you so cranky today? Maybe just, take that as a temperature check. Yeah. Look at when was the last time of week. Right. To go to the female side, the more often a woman engages in sexual intimacy with her husband, the more often she's going to want to. When there's a longer gap between, then her body's hormones sort of rebalance, and she just sort of forgets about it. What that says then is, okay, he wants it every 3 days roughly, and she's going to enjoy it more, want it more if it's happening more regularly. So every 3 days is 2 to 3 times a week. on average, right? Now, the average couple actually is only about 1 to 2 times a week.
I remember being...
So that's interesting, right?
It is. Mm-hmm.
So if your husband's getting cranky, check the temperature.
Just check the temperature. Now,
it's not an excuse to be a jerk either.
No,
like, grow up. Someone's already commented, grow up, get control of your emotions.
No, but also,
say the same thing back, like, pre-week, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it goes
true.
both directions.
It does. No one has excuses to be mean, nasty, and, having a bad attitude. Can these things affect those things sometimes? Absolutely.
It is funny, though, because I'll do, like, premarital, and it's so funny to see the answers. I just started doing, like, the Symbis test with people, and everyone's super high. It's like everyone's either writing down, like, every day or every other day.
Yeah.
I'm like, good for you, dog.
I applaud you for coming in hot.
You can just tell, like, they're dating. Like, man, they're ready to get married.
Yeah.
They're abstaining, and you can tell.
No,
and I'm proud of them for that.
But
proud of all my students.
It is pretty, you have to. And I do agree. I do think that is a true statement, that the more you do for the woman, the more she's going to want to be involved and so on and so forth. But I
just don't understand how your brain turns off to it. That's crazy.
But I think there's wisdom in understanding how a man's body works and how a woman's body works and how they think. We can make jokes about those things all day long, but genuinely.
The perfect number, though, is the one that is like right for you guys.
Right.
As simple as that. It's like whatever works for y'all together, combined with a decision, not having to schedule it.
And not the other one being like persuaded into it reluctantly,
Yeah, look, I've never regretted it.
It's true.
That's normally my persuasion, guys. Put that one in your back pocket. We're like, pretty tired. I'm like, yeah, but have we ever regretted
I was talking more on like wives. Don't try to just persuade your husband. I'm like, no, we can only do once a week. Like, don't do that. Okay, you're just don't.
Don't neuter the poor guy. But also, guys, look, great argument point. I've never regretted it.
Right.
I've also seen funny videos where they're like, hey, do you need any Tylenol? Do you want me to bring you Tylenol? I'm like, no, why? But I just didn't know if you had a headache tonight or not.
Well,
getting ahead of the excuses, fam.
There it is. Yeah. Just, find what works for the both of you and stick to it and make it fun. And, don't make it a chore and don't make it like a once a month thing. That's ridiculous. You're probably going to have deeper issues.
Dude, it's just a good way to get cheated on.
No, honestly. Like, you're kind of just like, I'm going to crack open this door a little bit because I'm just going to hold out because I don't feel like it. First of all, that's selfish. It really is selfish. And again, we're doing this from a biblical viewpoint. Yeah. The Bible tells us, the Word of God tells us that our bodies are not our own. You really don't have a right to constantly shut down your husband desiring you or vice versa, It says unless you both agree to it. So,
which I've never agreed.
So do what works for you, but
Trey. Sorry,
get
Trey.
on it.
Get on it.
Get on it.
That's how we're ending it. Bye.